What's up, guys? This is Andre, a Chokinator, if you know me from my stream. And I am riding my bike this morning. And I want to do this every morning, just as an exercise thing. And there are so many things I've been thinking about that I want to talk to you about. And one of them is called first principles thinking. And what that is basically reducing an idea or a combination of ideas to its basic parts. For example, if we're going with actual parts, like this bike, could be reduced down to the rubber tires, to the frame, to the handlebars, to the gears, to the pedals. And if you reduce it down to that, you can probably think about those parts and make something else out of it. Like you can use the chains for a pulley system or something. And when you think about first principles thinking, I've been trying to apply it to my career, trying to think about my art career and kind of break it down to the very basics and see how I can sort of rewire or reorganize all the assets that I have, all the skills that I have, to kind of take myself in a different direction. And I'm not really sure if I need to do that, because when I do try, I usually get the idea that I'm kind of going in an okay direction anyway, and I just need to keep grinding it out. But we'll see. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I'm hopefully I can do that. And if I do come up with something more clear, I'll probably tell you guys. Another thing I've been thinking about is called second order consequences, and a lot of people tell you that this is what great thinkers do. Basically, it means just thinking about the long-term consequences of your actions. It's easy to see what will happen in the short term after making a decision. But if you think about the snowball effect of that decision, all the things that will happen after the first thing, the first consequence, like what will happen as a result of that decision. And I listen a lot to Sam Ovens. He's a business guy, and he always talks about buying a TV being like buying a large HD TV for $1,000 is really a horrible decision if you think about second order consequences, because the first order consequence is that you'll enjoy the TV, you'll lose $1,000, and that's already pretty bad depending on what you think you're investing it into. But the second order consequence is that you're going to use time on the TV because you spent so much money on it. You're going to want to watch the TV. You're going to want to buy all these services like Netflix if you don't own it already, maybe Hulu and YouTube TV and others if whatever you want, Disney Plus, which is coming out. And you're going to spend hours and hours watching that because you want to make the TV worth it. And so you're losing productive time you could be using doing something else, whether it be, I don't know, exercise or reading a book. And I'm not necessarily that reading a book is more productive than watching TV. It depends on the book you're reading, and it really depends on what you're using the TV for. Because if you want to use the TV for something like watching educational videos or enriching yourself in some way, then it's probably a bad decision. And you can even push it further than a second order consequence, that once you're losing time and you're sitting around watching TV, the third order consequence would be that you get fat and you become a couch potato. Your muscles start to atrophy because you're sitting down. There are a lot of physical dangers to just sitting down. All those things you don't always take into account when you're buying a TV, because when you're buying it, you're probably thinking about the enjoyment you're going to get out of watching this beautiful 4K 180 FPS whatever 144 hertz TV, and the happiness you'll get just from watching it. And people don't always think about what's going to happen in the long run. And that's why I've been a lot more stressed lately, thinking about that, because there's a lot of pressure in every decision, and every second counts. Every second starts to count a little more than it used to, because you know that you can make a great decision that will have maybe even bad first order consequences, but really amazing second and third order consequences. Or you could make a decision that seems good because it has good first order consequences, like making you happy or something, or even something legitimately positive in the short term, but in the long term could be very harmful. And that's why when I try to make decisions now, I try to take a more precautionary decision, something that will really pay off in the long term. And as far as my art career, I could go more into that later in a different video, as far as the specific changes that I want to make. But those are the two things I've been thinking about, because if you think about first principles, okay, I can't talk about my art career. The first principles of my art career is that I can draw, I know how to make content, I kinda know how to make content. I stream, I have a computer, I have a lot of resources at home, and I isolated every single resource in a list, every single skill I have in a list, all my experiences in a list, almost like a resume for myself, but not necessarily to hire myself or anything, but more like to isolate every single thing and see how I can reorganize it into something that will make a really good long-term effect. And it takes a bit of creativity, really, to reorganize those things. And that's why inventors are able to invent great inventions, because they can really isolate the parts and think about what effects they can have, what new functions they can have with old concepts. So that's really what invention and creativity is, because everything is already created. Everything, as in all the first principles are already there. All the objects you need, like a wooden log. Think of all the things that can be done with wood. This tree, you can get a wooden log out of it, and you can create so many infinite number of things with it. Right? Just think about wood or a stone or iron. The very basic building blocks of things. When it comes to careers and ideas, I'm really, really trying to build from scratch. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I think it's because I discovered those ways of thinking that I decided to do this. And I think if it turns out that I reorganize it in such a way that's very similar to what I'm already doing, then that's great. That means I figured it out early. But the fact that I have these ideas, this sort of mental model to think about it in a new way, I really want to take advantage of having that knowledge, because that knowledge is also a resource. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Even riding my bike now hopefully has good consequences in the future. The problem is I also use this bike ride to play Pokemon Go, so I can hit up all the gyms in our neighborhood. But anyway, I hope this video was valuable to you in some way, and I want you guys to know that I love you all. I have lost some subs lately because I went ahead and uploaded probably 30 to 50 animations. I haven't counted, but it's a lot, and they're really short, and they're just all the GIFs that I've done. And even though I lost a few subs, I think it's good in the long term. See, this is another way of forward thinking. I don't really know if it's gonna pay off, but I would really like for my channel to have one single playlist with every single animation that I've ever made, even the short, tiny ones, even the ones I think are bad, just for archiving purposes and for documenting. I have watched quite a bit of Gary Vee in the past. His content, I think, is pretty good. He doesn't always give the most sound advice for quality of life and rest and all that stuff. I think he does, actually, but it's more that he always says document, don't create, and that's why I've kind of been a bit more liberal about just uploading stuff, because I don't really know what's gonna hit. The first thing that did hit was my first animation tutorial, which got 45,000 views or something now. And I've tried to do a couple follow-up tutorials, but they kind of regress. They have diminishing returns on the view count. But since they are related follow-ups to the original tutorial, I do they do get some views. But I want to keep putting out random stuff just to see what niche I fall into. Maybe that is the niche of animation stuff. But if I could just keep uploading random stuff, who knows what people will like. It's sort of this kind of scientific method based on randomness and chaos rather than hypothesis right now. I could, just say that those tutorials are the best thing that I could possibly make, but maybe not. Maybe I can make something even better. I don't know if it's these vlogs, probably not, but that's something I think about too. And it really depends on what people need, what is valuable to most people. Anyway, shout out to the 10-minute thing. I know a lot of people also recommend making videos longer than 10 minutes, and I don't know if people will actually watch just me, with my face. Maybe I should actually do some editing sometime, but I've always been more of a streamer and not an editor. So you can hit up my stream every Monday through Friday, morning till mid-afternoon or till evening. Yep. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. I love you all. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for just clicking on this. I want you to know that I really do appreciate it if you got this far. That's amazing. Shout out to my homie Zach, who really likes these. All right, peace out, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.